So good morning students. So in the last video we discussed about the physical and the chemical changes, and we discussed about the concept of rusting, and we see that how iron it is getting converted into iron trioxide, that is the rust. So that means totally a new substance is formed, so we label that change as a chemical change. Now let's see the another example, the reaction of magnesium with air. So this is magnesium, right? I have shown you the activity also, how this magnesium ribbon it burns. So magnesium ribbon, when you burn it, okay, or when you put it on the burner, so it burns to give you magnesium oxide with a very white bright flame. Okay, so magnesium oxide is formed. So now when this magnesium oxide, it will appear to you, or after burning it will be getting converted into ash or in the powder form. So you will be getting a white powder of this, right? So when we take this white powder and we add water into it, okay, so it gets converted into magnesium hydroxide, which is MgOH twice. So now if we want to check whether this magnesium hydroxide is an acid or a base, so we are going to perform a litmus test. So here I am taking red litmus and blue litmus. Okay, so when this magnesium hydroxide solution is touched with red litmus strip, right, and with the blue litmus strip, so red litmus is going to be changed into the blue color. So that confirms that this magnesium hydroxide is a base. Okay, so initially we were having magnesium. When it is burnt, you are getting magnesium oxide, and when it is put in water, you are getting magnesium hydroxide. Okay, so that means these both are two different things that we are obtaining. Okay, so that's why we label this change as, again, chemical change. Now coming to the third change, that is the reaction of copper sulfate with iron nail. Okay, so here I am taking copper sulfate, CuSO4. That is copper sulfate solution, and this solution is blue in color. Okay, so let's add few drops of sulfuric acid to it, H2SO4, and then we are going to put iron nail in the test tube that contains the copper sulfate. Okay, so what you are going to see after some time, what you will observe, this blue color of copper sulfate, it gets converted into green color, plus the iron nail that you put in the test tube, it will acquire a brown coating. Okay, so what we will observe, this copper sulfate solution that is initially blue in color, it will be getting converted into green color. This green color is due to the formation of FeSO4. Okay, and what will happen to the iron nail that is there in the test tube? That iron nail, it will acquire a brown color coating on its surface. Okay, so this is all about the chemical change whenever a reaction of copper sulfate with the iron takes place. So we are getting a new substance with the changed property. Okay, so this is the third one. Now we are going to do the fourth one. So For the fourth one, this is the reaction of vinegar with baking soda. So firstly, see what vinegar is. So vinegar is basically acetic acid, CH3COOH, that we also use at our homes, जिसको हम सिरका कहते हैं, plus baking soda, right? This we also use at our homes. So this is NaHCO3 and its name is sodium hydrogen carbonate. Okay, so this is baking soda. So what will happen when we are going to mix them? So when we are going to mix them, it is going to give you carbon dioxide, water and some other substances. Okay, so you will be seeing a bubble formation is there with a slight sound, a brisk effervescence, like when you open the bottles of cold drink. Okay, so you heard a brisk effervescence. So in the similar way, a gas, bubbles of this gas will be there with a slight sound. Okay, so carbon dioxide gas along with water and some other substances, they are formed. Okay, so now how we are going to check whether the carbon dioxide gas is formed or not? Okay, so what we have to do is, if you want to test whether the carbon dioxide gas is formed or not, so take calcium hydroxide, that we called as lime water. Okay, so pass this carbon dioxide gas through this lime water, right? What you will see, initially it will be a clear solution. Initially the solution will be clear of calcium hydroxide. When you are going to pass the carbon dioxide gas into it, this clear solution, it will turn milky. Right? Now why this turns milky? Because when calcium hydroxide and carbon dioxide, they both react, they give you calcium carbonate plus water, and that gives you milky appearance. Okay, so this is how we are going to test whether the carbon dioxide gas is present or not. Right? These reactions, what we have seen the formation of a new substance. So that's why we call such reactions as chemical changes. Okay, so that means what is the criteria, or you can say what are the characteristics of a chemical change. When we are saying that a chemical reaction, a chemical change, it takes place, right? So the first point is either there is generation of some heat, light or radiation. Right? So either heat, light or some other form of radiation is produced. Like we discussed the example of magnesium ribbon, the burning of magnesium ribbon. So it burns to give you white dazzling flame. That means both heat and light, they are produced in this reaction. Okay, so secondly, sound may be produced. So if in any chemical change sound is produced, like burning of crackers, so in the burning of crackers you get heat, light and sound also, right? So we characterize this change as chemical change. Now the third criteria will be change in smell, and that is most common in case of spoilage of food. So when bacteria, they act on the leftover food, right? So they give you foul smell. So your food, it gives you foul smell. So that is again what is the chemical change, right? Because there is change in the smell of food due to the oxidation of the bacteria that act on the food particles. Okay, so that's why we label this change as chemical change. Other characteristics can be change in color. Like we discussed the example of copper sulfate turning into iron sulfate in the presence of sulfuric acid and iron. So we observe the blue color, it gets changes into the green color, right? So again, due to this change, due to the change in color, we classify this change as chemical change, right? Or sometimes in many chemical reaction, a gas is produced. So we discussed the example of vinegar and baking soda. So what happens in that case? We get carbon dioxide gas, right? So this carbon dioxide gas, the formation of carbon dioxide gas is basically due to the reaction between the baking soda and the vinegar, and again this is under the category of a chemical change. Okay, so this is how we are going to identify these through these characteristics, through gas, sound, smell, heat. Okay, so through these characteristics we are going to label our change as chemical change. So now the last topic, that is crystallization. So you all have seen the crystals of, so crystallization, you all have seen the crystals of sugar, salt, and might be you have seen the crystals of copper sulfate also while performing some activities. So how we are getting these crystals? Like the common example of crystal, that is alum, फटकरी जिसको हम कहते हैं, right? That we use at our homes also. Okay, so how we are getting the crystals of a substance? So this is by the method of crystallization. Okay, so what is crystallization? It is the process of obtaining crystals of a pure substance. The crystals, they are formed in a pure form. Okay, so the process of obtaining crystals of a pure substance from its hot saturated solution. Okay, so saturated solution, that means we will be forming the saturated solution of the powdered form of that substance, and then from that powdered form we will be getting the crystals. Okay, so this is about the crystallization method. Now how we are going to obtain the crystals of copper sulfate, right? So our next activity is method or the procedure to obtain copper sulfate crystals. But do remember one thing, that crystallization is a physical change. This change is not a chemical change. This is just a change in the appearance, right? So from the powdered form we are getting a crystal form, and if you are going to break the crystals, okay, so then you will be getting again the powdered form. So we classify this change as a physical change. Okay, so how we are going to obtain the crystals? So firstly you have to take water, right? Take water in a beaker, then you have to add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid into it. Okay, so then start heating the beaker containing water, right? So what we have done, we have taken the beaker, we have added water, right, and we are heating this water. Okay, So we have added water plus dilute sulfuric acid. Now it's time to add copper sulfate powder. Right? Now it's time to add copper sulfate powder. So add copper sulfate powder till saturation point. So that means we have to add that much amount of copper sulfate powder till no more powder, it dissolves further. So that is called saturated solution. Okay, so keep on adding copper sulfate solution and stir side by side, and you have to add till that point when there is no dilution of that copper sulfate powder in the water. Okay, so till saturation point add copper sulfate powder, and then you have to filter the solution. And then allow it to rest for some time, right? So filter the solution containing the water, dilute sulfuric acid and copper sulfate powder. That will be mixed in it, okay? So after filtration you have to keep it, right? So allow it to rest for sufficient time. So after sufficient cooling you will be seeing the blue crystals of the copper sulfate, right? So blue crystals of copper sulfate will be formed. So this is how we bring about the crystallization process. Okay, so I hope the chapter physical and chemical changes, chemical changes and how they are occurring is clear to you.